on my phone. So let me just 1 second.
Oh, wow.
Let's go.
Pop them. I said I was popping the bottles. I might have to get 2. I'm going to get another one. We got Carlos Carrasco. We got Cookie.
That's great.
Cookie, the biggest pickup. Obviously, Lindor's the guy, but Carrasco's on the hook for 3 years.
Well, we got people dropping out left and right. Where did Clem go? Clem physically left. We got to get Kev back.
He's retweeting it as far as I know.
Yo, it's pandemonium around here. We don't even know how to deal with this.
We'll have to edit that out for the podcast. But we had to pop a bottle
Right
for
in the
Carlos Carrasco
fucking
too. We
middle
got
of it.
cookies. I'm gonna get some cookies. I don't have any cookies in the house. We started the diet. 2 fucking Coors Lights. I don't even know if they're sponsored the podcast. 2 Coors Lights. 2 Cleveland baseball team players. I don't know what we call them either. It's a lot of stuff going on. A lot to process. Francisco Lindor, Carlos Carrasco to the New York Metropolitans for what was the final tally here? Rosario,
Jimenez, Rosario, Green, and Wolf.
All right.
Nobody.
The Uncle Stevie era has begun, man.
The nuts are on the table. The wallet has been opened. You fucking pests on Twitter can stop bothering him every goddamn day,
Oh my God,
asking when he's going to make a trade. The trade has been made. The first trade has been made. Holy shit. I mean, it's pandemonium right now. It's like it's a fire drill. We're coming on this live stream live, and we're going in straight raw emotion, so it's a lot to process. Frank the Tank is like taunting Yankee fans at HQ right now. So him and Marty are yelling at
Wait
each other.
until you see stool stream. Stool scenes. It was like every corner of the office was just bickering with each other, and people were coming from the clouds. You had Marty in one corner, you had Kevin in the other corner. Frankie walked in. You got Tommy Smokes. It was just everybody hitting ricochet shots. I mean, it's going to be the Subway Series is going to be lively this year.
Has Steve tweeted it? Has Steve Cohen, I hope he's just dancing on graves. Everybody who was criticizing him, he should just clap back at all of them.
Nope. Radio silence.
I really thought he was going to break it. I didn't even think he was going to let a reporter do it. I think he was going to, as soon as he signed it, was going to be, I thought he would live stream it. Jump on StreamYard.
He's probably gonna be like, "Oh, sorry guys, had like a big, $100 million deal I had to close in addition to this, so sorry I couldn't come on and bring it to you guys live on Twitter." I mean, here we go. We're fucking off and running. The Steve Cohen era has begun. It's 2021. New year, new us, new Mets. The new Mets. This is the team, the time, the new Mets, whatever those stupid Wilpon marketing phrases were to kind of like trick us into thinking the team was always going to be good. This is it. We have a young 27-year-old stud switch hitting shortstop. I mean, you could that's when you're building a team from fucking little league to now, you get that stud shortstop. That's where you put your best guy. We have him locked up for now. When does his contract end, Kyle? Is next year's last year? Next year's
his last year, but there's absolutely no way that we just traded away anybody on the team that can play shortstop. That they're in that trade. So
yeah,
we're going to extend him before the end of the season. There's no doubt in my mind. Right now they have the collective bargaining agreement coming up. They've got uncertain financial times for every team in the league except for us. Did you see Uncle Stevie made $1.5 billion this last year? He made back 2/3 of the sale and had nothing to do with baseball whatsoever. So all these broke boys are not going to be able to pony up the money that we're about to give him.
I don't understand how you can be do you not understand this is the excitement that we have? It's because of Steve Cohen. It's because we have money. So, I mean, if somehow Lindor, if it's one of those situations he wants to be near his family, or if he's one of those guys and he's willing to take less, then what are you going to do anyway? You would never have been able to. We can finally compete on extensions, on price, on free agents. We are in the best possible situation to sign a guy in his walk year. If we don't, I mean, hey, that can happen, but it's unlikely because now that it's literally playing to our strengths. So
yeah,
just be happy, Mets fans. Be happy for once.
I had someone tweeted me "Oh, Carrasco, he's washed. He's not very good. Get the fuck
out of here."
He's our number, and this is the thing. He's our rotation right now. DeGrom, Stroman, Carrasco. At some point, Noah will come back, right? And then you have Peterson. You have, if you go with a Odorizzi, a Kluber, a Matz. I mean, Kev. All right, so we got KFC on. KFC, how are we doing right now from HQ?
You have to feel if you've been complaining that Steve Cohen hasn't been doing anything. How stupid do you have to feel if you've been one of these impatient Mets fans being like, why aren't we doing anything? It's been like 2 fucking seconds. Nobody has made any moves. Nobody has signed any free agents. And the first thing he did was bring you Francisco Lindor. Fuck George Springer. Fuck Trevor Bauer. Who gives a shit? We're making big moves for fucking MVP type shortstops. We're going to be here for the next fucking 30 goddamn years for nothing. We gave up a guy who's all been secretly saying kind of fucking sucks, but hey, he was a former #1 prospect, so we got to keep working with him. And Jimenez, who's like, give me Jimmy, was like a fan favorite. He might stink for all we know. Other than, are you kidding me? This is the Carrasco on top of it. Steal of the fucking century, and I'm not even kidding. And anybody who thinks like, oh, well, you know, he's not under contract. Steve Cohen's going to have him under a fucking $350 million deal by 2 p.m. Give me a break. We're going to make this move and just have him be a rental? Are you crazy? Crazy.
And how about this guy?
was
Guys
good,
already complaining on the radio about they'd rather have DJ LeMahieu.
Oh my God.
I fucking hate those Mets fans. The fans that have been chirping Steve Cohen in his mentions all day. You are a loser. You have a loser mentality, and you're not part of the true Met fan faithful. Like, it's fucking absurd.
And I'm watching Yankee fans have a meltdown in the office. It's beautiful. Marty Mush can't speak. He's like, what the fuck is going on? And Tommy's going, I don't know how you can even talk about baseball during a time like this.
That's well done.
He just keeps repeating that Steve Cohen has the biggest fine in SEC history. They are not going to know what to do. On top of all the championships, like, you know what the best part of the Steve Cohen era is going to be? The multiple World Series. You know what the second best part is going to be? The second best part is going to be watching Yankee fans who don't know what to do. They literally don't know because they've in their entire lives, if you're like 25 or younger, your entire life, you've never had anything like this happen. And it's going to be there's a difference between getting – the reason why I said like fuck Springer and fuck Bauer, like those are good players, no doubt. And I hope we still go get them too. But there's a difference between that and like a cornerstone shortstop, like the most coveted position player in the fucking game that you got to like also get creative. You know, it's not as simple as like, hey, he's a free agent, just go buy him. They had to come up with this trade and they did it. And they actually extra like sweetened the pot, gave up nothing that makes me uncomfortable. I mean, it's the perfect move. It's like, it's smart, it's savvy, it's a big splash, it fills a need, it's all of it. It's perfect. You know what it is, Clem? It's perfect infrastructure. They're putting it in place. We're reaping the benefits of infrastructure.
And we haven't really even spent money. Like, we haven't even used the Steve Cohen. This is a trade. Not that I'm saying Brody would have done it or something like that. But
he's getting paid $17.5 million this year through arbitration. That's nothing. We still had like 60. We had 63 on the books that we could spend before the cap.
So that's less than Cano was going to make this year. That's Cano money we're spending on him with some to fucking keep for fucking hot dogs and shit. It's unbelievable.
You think Steve Cohen will just beat us over the head with this? Like, he'll just follow up with Springer? Like, I feel like he just dropped that tomorrow.
So we both got our hopes up with Springer. And I know Mets fans are mad at us for talking, or at least me, for talking like it was a done deal. Like the Springer thing is still bubbling. The Springer thing is still very much happening. Blue Jays fans in my mentions are acting like they're the Yankees of like the 90s and the 2000s, where it's like, well, how could you possibly expect to compete with our wallet? I'm like, what? You don't even have a fucking home right now, and we have the richest owner in baseball by like tenfold. What are you talking about? So, like, that's probably been, you know, I feel like, you know, it could be like Porter's over here working the Lindor deal, Sandy's over here working the Springer. Like, this might all come into this. They might go now like bam, 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 and anybody, if that happens, how stupid are you really going to feel? You already feel fucking dumb if you've been chirping about the Mets and they go get Lindor. Now, if they follow this up with a big free agency signing too, come everywhere.
Jump off a bridge. You're already halfway there, baby. You're already getting it all done right now.
Honestly, Lindor and Arenado were the two names we've been talking about. I always thought Lindor was a little more a lot more realistic because we know for a fact that the Indians were bailing on him. And I had like this actually isn't surprising me. Are you surprised?
No, not at all. That's the thing. People were like acting like we didn't do anything. We got Marcus Stroman, which was an important part for the rotation. We signed our fucking catcher, and then we got like a legitimate bullpen piece, and no one else is signing anybody. We had like the best signings in baseball still.
It's us and the Padres. They're the only people doing it. There's two teams doing anything. We're one of them.
And I just say though, like it's so weird for me to feel like the Mets, who have been notoriously smoke and mirrors with like they're the kings of like we had interest or we made an offer or we made our best offer, we made best effort. And so to be like confident that they were going to go pull off a trade for the best shortstop in the game feels very like anti-Mets fan. But I think it's kind of the point of like, I feel, I've been waiting to be able to be a optimistic baseball fan. And as soon as Cohen came, I flipped the page and I was waiting for specifically this. Like, I think George Springer was pretty likely, but I felt like if Lindor is going to be available, Steve Cohen's going to go get him. But I didn't want to jinx it or say it out loud or really lean into it because on the other side of things, it's like we are still the New York Mets. And so bad things still can happen to us. But the minute this deal happened, I was kind of like, yup. Like, makes sense. I've been waiting for this, which is such a departure from the last 30 years of my life. To be like, yeah, I knew we were going to go get Lindor is crazy. It's amazing. It's a whole new life.
It's not even real. And the only reason it's possible is because there's other owners in baseball, like the Wilpons, right? This Dolan motherfucker is just killing Indians fans. Indians fans, we welcome you with open arms. Come with us. We're a bunch of savages like you guys are. We'll probably be eating horse shit after the Mets first parade. We're going to be lunatics out there. Like, trust me, we are cut from the same cloth. We fucking welcome you with open arms.
If there's a city that knows how it feels to be fucked over by a Dolan owner, it is New York. So we feel your pain. And as much as this sucks for you, at least know, let's say the tables were turned. I could at least say to myself, at least Frankie's going to like a place that deserves it and like a fan base that was suffering under bad ownership like ours. But they got, it's like we got out of the hood, like we made it out of like the bad life and they should just, as much as it sucks that they're still in it, like, be happy for us. Be happy for Lindor that he's going to go to a place where he's going to get paid and he's going to win and he's going to, like, live the life he deserves. It's how quickly things can change. The fact that the Mets now, once you get Cohen, they become like a real threat. And once you get a guy like Lindor, they become now like I want to go play for them. The fact that we had free agents tweeting after that Cohen press conference, like, get my agent on the phone, I want to go to Queens, is crazy. The fact that now Lindor makes it like a spot where, like, yo, if you're a major player, you want to be in Queens. It's in a matter of months, a matter of weeks. It's like the glow up of all glow ups. It's like she's all that. We just like took our glasses off, put our fucking hair up, like her hair with the hottest chick in town. It's amazing. It feels so fucking good.
By the way, news conference today, 3:00. They just announced it. So they're jumping right on to Dance on the Grapes. And then they've got Trevor Bauer, all eye emojis with the words interesting.
Well, a baseball thing couldn't happen without Trevor Bauer inserting himself into it.
Yeah. And we're apparently still the front runner for Springer, according to a lot of people. So
and that was like my biggest thing was like, holy shit, we got Lindor. Holy shit, we got fucking Carrasco just to have like that extra arm. And then it was like, we still got to be in on Springer, though. I mean, I think we have to be. Like, if this had happened a year ago and we had gotten Mookie, I could see like just keeping the shortstops the way it is. But you need to have a center fielder. I cannot watch Brandon Nimmo out there anymore. I'm going to kill someone. I cannot be in jail for the parade.
Don't get me started.
If shore catcher, shortstop, and center field. If the Mets in one offseason shore up the middle, that has been the bugaboo for basically my entire life. aside from the Beltran era, aside from a split second where we thought that Jose Reyes was like the real deal, and of course like the Piazza times. Other than that, and those are three big names. I hate to say like other than that, but it was like there was times where we had those guys. But it's either been feast or famine, and it's been famine for a while with these positions. And so the fact that like solid catcher, if they go get Springer, and you have a crown jewel at shortstop, oh baby, that is a complete departure from everything that we've had to endure and everything we've been about. I mean, and if you think about the full up the middle, we have not really like solved second base, but we got fucking Cano out of here with his fucking drug test. So really, all positives, either addition by subtraction or just straight up.
Pete Alonso, Dom Smith, Jacob DeGrom, not too bad. We've got some good pieces to build around too.
Dude, to think about the guys that are already in place,
and we're circling Brad Hand.
It's like now if that happens, if they go get Springer. Now I got to start worrying about pressure. Now it's like, well, we should probably win the World Series now, guys. I mean, what the fuck? How quickly things can change. Wow. And I mean, again, I'm not surprised by this move, but at least as far as I know, maybe you guys are a little more in the know than I am, or at least following on Mets Twitter. I mean, you see a tweet at like 1:00 about this might happen and done deal by like 1:07. It's like, that shit went fast. They kept that under wraps. They kept that tight, or they moved incredibly fast where this all like happened in like a single day. But I mean, Steve Cohen has got to just be sitting back being like, or you know what? Steve Cohen might just be like, this is what I do, guys. Yeah. Like, how many times at Sac Capital or at Point 72 where he was probably like, woke up on a Monday, no big deal, business as usual, and he went and acquired some fucking company or made some deal, made like $1 billion in an hour, and was just like, yeah, this is what I do. I find arbitrage, I find, things to exploit, and I just fucking do it. So he might, for all we know, just be like, yeah, this was my plan all along, and this is like, I'm not excited. It's no big deal. Has he tweeted anything?
Not yet.
I will say this, like, I was talking to Kyle couple days ago. Like I have, it's no secret that I have not liked him on Twitter from the jump. And then when fans started to turn, as stupid as I thought they were, and as annoying as it is, I was like, this is what happens when you come on Twitter. You open yourself up to all the bad with really none of the good. There's just nothing actually tangibly good that can come from Steve Cohen being on Twitter. If I had my way, he would not be on social media at all. That being said, whatever his first tweet is after this, it'll be worth it.
Well,
I hope this double middles, and I hope he says, "Fuck you, hater." Because
did you see this from 3 days ago when somebody was ranting and raving about it? It says, "Is James McCann really going to be our big signing in the offseason?" And he says, "Let me put this differently." And then he does a weird space between the period. I don't know what he's doing with that. He just like doesn't know how to type. Don't you think someone will take our money? That is the cockiest, swaggiest thing he could possibly say. And I'm like, you know what? It's all worth it. I'm worried about him being on social media too. But when he's just like, I have all of the money. Somebody's going to want some of it. We're going to get somebody. We're going to be okay. When he said he's like, all right with losing money, I'm like, oh my God, you're everything I ever dreamed of.
You think that Springer is kind of imminent or inevitable? Trevor Bauer is a weird cat. Trevor Bauer is like an agent of chaos. I feel like, if the wrong team offered him $1 billion, I think he'd say no. Like, it's got to be the right fit for him. George Springer seems like a normal human with a normal brain. And so when, like, they make the best offer, the longest offer, when you realize I get to now go play with, an MVP caliber shortstop, like, he'll just be like, this is the better option. Should I go to, like, the Blue Jays who don't have a home, who, like, don't, and they're going to offer me XYZ, or go to, like, the Mets who are established and set and have young youth with a motivated owner? Like, the same way that Steve Cohen says, don't you think someone's going to take our money? If I'm a free agent right now, aren't you thinking, like, Steve Cohen's going to want to win a World Series soon? Like, during my prime, during my career, Steve Cohen's going to try. Maybe he doesn't get it done, but he's going to try his fucking hardest.
And also give me a huge amount of money.
Yeah, I'm going to get paid, and I'm going to play for a guy who I know is going to be hell-bent on winning. So I'm just going to go there. I mean, that just logically, keep it simple, stupid. Just look at what's right in front of your face, you know?
Springer's also from Connecticut, which is like the third part of the tri-state no one ever talks about. They always think Jersey and New York. That counts for something. And like, listen, I imagine most of us have been to Canada for bachelor parties or whatever. It's like you got to have like change the currency over. You have to go into the walls. It's just a bunch of bullshit. You don't have to deal. You're George Springer. You can fucking come here. You don't have to worry about all that other nonsense, crossing the border, having your passport for you and your family. None of that bullshit. You just come in the continental 48. Stay in the continental 48.
Come home.
If there's a time right now you want to be in America, okay?
Oh no.
Somebody said that earlier too. That like the old Mets, like the Wilpon Mets, if they ever made a trade with us, never would have. They would have done it yesterday at like 3:00 as the entire fucking country was collapsing. It seemed, and it was like, oh, the Mets traded for Lindor, and we're just like, oh, whatever. Like I'm fucking terrified right now. Like, oh, it's a new era. A new era. Oh,
I gotta ask you guys though, how do you think it's gonna shake out? Do you think they're now gonna try to extend Conforto before Springer, or Springer and then Conforto? Because then you get a lot of money tied up.
Who fucking cares? It doesn't matter. Two lefts and a right, two rights and a left. I don't think Steve's like, you do it on Tuesday and Wednesday, you do it on Wednesday, Tuesday. I don't fucking care. I mean, I actually genuinely don't know. Yes, that's a lot of money tied up, but those are two things that I think have to happen that I think just kind of will happen no matter what. Maybe I'm getting too greedy and cocky, but it just feels like,
But really, there's no reason, you have to pay Springer to get him. But even the Lindor and the Conforto extensions can happen. Like, you can let the season start to happen and see what's going on. Not that I think that they shouldn't do anything, but Conforto has a terrible, terrible year. I think they're going to use the time on their side to figure it out. Long term, you need to extend it for sure. But, that is probably the next move.
I'd rather everybody be paid and happy and locked and loaded. Let's fucking go. You don't have to play games. You don't have to worry about it. You know what? Let's just go get Arenado too.
I do want DJ LeMahieu just so he doesn't go to the Yankees.
Yeah,
that would be steal him.
Let's sign DJ LeMahieu and bench him. He'll just be our defensive replacement or something like that. I mean, it is kind of crazy to think. You definitely could still make a big trade. Like, they didn't give up any of their pieces where it's like, we talked about having how Tom Smith or Pete Alonso is, you only need one of them, and how JD Davis is probably at like an all-time, not an all-time high, but still a high value trade prospect right now. Like, what if they made another blockbuster trade on top of it? And obviously they're not going to, but I'm saying the fact that they were able to get this one done without really giving, without unloading the farm, unloading, your talent. And I guess this is the beauty of the fact that, like, he's not locked up. He's technically a rental, but we know that Steve Cohen's not going to allow that to be. Like, the value that the Indians – I hate to say this, but, like, if you're an Indians fan watching this, like, that trade stinks. Like,
you're an Indians fan, become a Mets fan.
Like, that is not good. So the fact that they were able, like, his value because of that contract situation was basically a bust of a prospect and a young up and coming, like, nice player. I actually, to be honest, I don't know much about Josh Wolf and Isaiah Green. Are they, like, super highly touted?
Isaiah Green was a pretty high pick. Wolf, I really haven't heard anything about. So,
but I mean, in the world of baseball, it's like, yeah. And in my mind,
perennial all-star.
None of it's ever going to be worse. Nothing's going to be worse than Kalenic. So, like, whatever. You can't get any worse than that. So, I mean, that is, by the way, the stars and the moon combined.
This lineup without Lindor led the league in average last year, 4th in slugging, 2nd in OBP, 3rd in OPS.
Dude, what was that? Remember that? Remember it was like they're the only team since like 1915 to miss the playoffs while having an OPS of like 1,000 or whatever it was. Like, their offense was stacked and performing. It was just a short season of like weird, never at the right time, never clutch, never when we needed it. But the bats and the performance are fucking there without an MVP type player.
Is he like, are we talking gold gloves and stuff like that? Like with Lindor, like I know his defense looks good, but is it like through the roof? Like I feel like he's fucking great. Speaking of Cleveland fans, excuse me. Your boy Jay Hay. We heard from Jay Hay. I saw on Twitter here. He goes, "This is a bad deal for Cleveland and a good deal for the Mets." So there you go. So I mean that's. And then he also retweeted this one. This one's from Eno Saras. As far as I can tell, the Indians' 2021 payroll with benefits and arbitration estimates will be under $50 million after the trade. Such a scumbag move.
Yeah,
Such
I believe
a scumbag move.
Right now, I'll get the official update. I'm pretty sure he said once this Lindor deal happens, I will no longer be an Indians fan. Because he was just like, I no longer, come on down, baby. I know when he's living in Connecticut, he used to watch the Mets a lot too. So I know he's got like a little bit of Mets history, but I think he was basically just, he's a very logical baseball fan who was like, I can no longer like give my heart and my soul over to this organization who's going to do this. And like, I've felt that way so many times though. And I've never been able to like fully break up with them. But I mean, how can you like dedicate yourself to the fucking Indians anymore? Like,
at least the Wilpons would give us like a little tap dance about how they're trying. Their owner was like, "We will never pay anyone. We will never ever do that." I that might break me too. I might be like, you know what, I'm out.
Yeah, the day that we used to give a $300 million deal is when they give out $1 billion deal. Now you know what's gonna hurt is if like it probably will be like a 300+ deal, but what if they get him for like 220 in a shorter terms or something like that? It's kind of like what happened with Mookie Betts, where the Red Sox assumed it was going to be like a $450 million deal, and then it was like not that crazy, nothing like outside the realm of possibility. So, our condolences to the Indians, but this is what Steve Cohen does. This is what Steve Cohen is going to do. This is our first taste of being like. We're going to be the obnoxious guys. We're going to be the big market New York team. We're going to be the like, oh, I can't wait to see him in orange and blue. Oh, man. I love it.
I guess our boy JD's at third as of now. So we had Double Davis Davis is our third base. Like, because without Arenado and we thought Jimmy was going to go there. So just in terms of roster, like setup. And I think, I do think there is a move that can be made. Obviously, that's what someone just said. Armand is amazing. Get Brian and Hendricks from the Cubs, but like Brian's glove, I feel like it's like the same as JD Davis, right? So it doesn't really solve that.
Brian's such a weird. I feel like Brian is a guy like a change of scenery guy that I would be down with. Like you're talking about the definition of buying low. Whoever ends up getting him, right? Like he's no longer. But knowing that that's in there and knowing that it's not like he's fucking like 40 years old or something where it's over. There is a chance to kind of rekindle some of that. I'd gladly take a flyer on that if the price is right. JD Davis, like, maybe it's because he's notoriously my guy, and we've had so much fun with him with the song and the nicknames. I know his glove is bad, but it just doesn't bother me for some reason. I'm kind of like, fuck it, let's go with him at third. Like, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I mean, I do believe. If you're going to be a true World Series contender, how many true World Series teams have you seen where you're still kind of like punting on a position? It's very, like the Mets have always had these guys where it's like, well, square peg in a round hole. We'll put our second base.
Timo Perez. Oh, yeah. Timo Perez out there. Don't worry. We'll be fine. Right. He won't cost us in game one of the World Series. Don't worry.
It's very rare that you have a locked and loaded, rock solid team where it's like, we'll put our second baseman in left field, and we'll play this like very much DH as our third baseman. Like those things usually are not going to be happening to the cream of the crop. So you hope that everything is like kind of hammered out, and we have all real players at real position. But if it's going to be like JD Davis at third right now, I don't think that's the end of the world, And
I saw here too
to bolster the rotation a little bit. What's that?
No, I was just saying, Long Strider 420 said Lindor 2 Gold Gloves. So you're getting a Gold Glove shortstop, literally.
I know a lot of people, we've talked about Springer versus Bauer, and we've talked about some of these big bats, and a lot of people are on the train of like, the problem we have is pitching. We need to fix the pitching. It's like, well, this doesn't fix everything, but the fact that in the same deal you get the shortstop you need, you also bolstered the rotation. I mean, that is a beautiful deal. Beautiful.
I mean, the fucking Indians, they're like they had Bauer, right? They had Clevenger, who they traded. They had Carrasco, and they're just all gone now. Carrasco's old as shit, though. He's 33, so that's like a little. It's not like he's like some young stud or whatever, but he's a perfect 3 into a 4 with Noah coming back. Like, I don't know, man. I love everything about the trade. I love everything about it. Uncle Stevie, thank you, Uncle Stevie. We've been riding you since day one, Uncle Stevie. We're riding you the day fucking whatever the parade is. Thank you, Uncle Stevie.
I mean, we took like a portion of their roster, and we're not done yet because they want to get Hand. That would shore up the bullpen. You have Springer. You have the potential for another back end type of guy in the rotation. I mean, this is quickly becoming a complete team to the point where, like you said, Kevin, if you're not making the postseason now, it's like, if they're going to go for it year one like this, shit's going to get real quick. And I think even at the trade deadline, like that's the type of thing where like you just put your finger on the button. You're like, we're going for it right away.
That gives me like fucking heart palpitations though. I remember them, like they got so good from 05 to 06 that they were like, we're just one piece away. Like, let's go get Moises. Let's just like, okay, we got to get one more pitcher. And it's like, I would rather continue to do like the slow and steady rise than you know what I mean? I don't want to go into like hyperdrive here where it's like, we have to win right now. But when you get names like that, it's, that's what's going to be expected.
That like now that we're getting the pieces in place, now we need shit to happen, and crazy stuff's gonna happen. Moises Alou, reasons we needed him because we need a right-handed bat. Why do we need a right-handed bat? Because we traded Xavier Nady. Why do we trade Xavier Nady? Because Duaner Sanders got into a fucking car accident, a taxi cab accident. So it's like there's still so much shit that has to happen on the field, off the field, and everywhere in between. But like, I'd rather have Francisco Lindor than not have him. Right? That's the bottom line.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there was a time when Reyes came up. I remember telling my mom about Reyes, being like, this kid's getting the call up. And like, aside from Alex Rodriguez, he's probably like the best shortstop. He's going to be the best in baseball. And, he did his thing for a little while. I think I saw something the other day on Twitter. He's like the only player or one of only 3 to have this many triples, this many stolen bases, this many hits, this many whatever, home runs. And he was a nice player, obviously not fully panned out, and we botched the contract with him, and then he had this off-the-field issues with domestic violence that just ruined everything. But there was a minute where Reyes was a guy and the chance and all that. I mean, other than that, I've never had like a shortstop there's certain things in sports that are, the premier position, like the quarterback and the point guard and the shortstop. To have that, I watched my whole life. I watched Jeter and the Yankee fans, and to now like probably have that it's the extra icing on the cake. It's like if you go get me an unbelievable right fielder, sure, great. You get me, if McNeil was playing second, it's like, wow, we got the best second baseman in baseball. But the extra little oomph is like he's the guy, he's the spot, he's the position, he's the classic, baseball New York shortstop. Thank you, Uncle Stevie.
He's an MLB The Show guy. That's the guy that competes for the cover with the other guys who are on his level, right? And like we love DeGrom. We're the best pitcher in fucking baseball, right? Like and Pete Alonso has a fucking great personality and all that shit. But like you said, shortstop, there's something special. Like even growing up, like it was like A-Rod, Jeter, you had all these guys coming up, and it was like we had Ray Ordonez, who we loved, and the shit he could do with the glove was crazy. But he like batted like 190. You're just like Ray Ordonez can't fucking hit. He can't hit.
Ray Ordonez could have just batted 240. I would, it was like he was so comically bad. But I remember that. Like, I remember with Yankee fans trying to be like, nah, Ray Ordonez, man. You see his glove? It's like, it was pathetic. The shortstops of our lifetime, they're pathetic. Remember the fucking Mike Bordick moves and the, up the middle, and it's just been so gross with this infield for so long. And now it's not. Now it's a thing of beauty. Now it's, I guess Beltran and Piazza, Delgado was a move that like I absolutely had every ounce of faith in it. Yep. But aside from a handful, that 06 era, had a lot of guys who like could perform, but unless there's a catastrophic injury or an absolutely unforeseen drop off in talent, what Francisco Lindor is going to bring you. There's been very few guys. Beltran delivered, Delgado delivered like a motherfucker, Piazza delivered.
Johan, Garrett Kinsett says Johan. That's definitely another one. You're like, that's money.
Pedro, he was on the wrong side of things, and there's been some moves that have been good, but for the most part, you think about remember the Burnitz and Mo Vaughn years where they were going for it with big names that were just it didn't pan out. We've had so many flops with the pitching, with the Generation K and the 5 aces and all that. It's Jason Bays of the world and fucking shit like that. It's nice to just be like, what's his average right now? Like, what can we expect?
He had a down year last year, but he's right around the 280s, and he's a four time in a row All-Star.
Yep.
I mean, he's at the pinnacle of his career. He's 27 years old. Like, that's exactly when you come into your own, but he's been that way.
Yep. I mean, that 27-year career is that year 27 season is like it. So
33 bombs, 38 bombs, 32 bombs the last 3 full seasons before Corona season. Runs 100, 99, 129, 101. Stolen bases 15, 25, 22. Average, around the 270s. On base percentage and slugging, you're looking at OPS of about 900, and he's a fucking Gold Glove shortstop. There's a switch hitter. I hate to even bring this game up. I hate to bring this juju up. Switch hitting middle infielder from Cleveland in a trade. If you fucking Roberto Alomar, motherfucker, Francisco, don't you dare.
Actually, it's funny you say that though, because I am always trying to keep, the Metsness in the picture. I remember saying that about Roberto Alomar. I remember being like, this dude is a Hall of Famer. He's like maybe the best at his position ever. We're good. Like, it's a lock. And so, these things can happen. I don't think it's going to. I don't want to rain on the parade. I'm just saying, always brace yourself. You never know. But, in the prime of his career, ready to make a name for himself and I steal his legacy and get out of a cheap town, he's probably going to fucking bring the noise, baby.
Yeah, and Roberto was 7 years older at that point. 7 years older, and he had a spitting in the umpire's face incident on his resume, which is so Mets. It's almost, I can't believe that didn't happen as a Met. It's crazy.
Yep.
They overlaid his home runs in Citi Field, too, and it's only like 3 balls wouldn't have gone out. So it's not even a situation where you're like Arenado, where you're like, oh, is he going to be able to play outside of Colorado? Like, no, this dude just mashes baseballs on the regular.
So next up would, you got to keep pedal to the metal with Springer, and we got to bolster that bullpen. I don't know what's available in that regard, but I don't care who you are. I don't care if you had fucking Mariano Rivera in his prime. You just always need more bullpen arms. So go get everybody, throw everything against the wall until it sticks, because the bullpen's the one thing that can erase, all the work that Francisco Lindor does or all the work that this pitching staff might do. You have to go get a bullpen now. And
let's get fucking weird with it too. Let's do fucking openers and have all bullpen arms. You can have the ground close. Have the ground close. I just made us World Series champions.
And I mean, let me just see if there's been any further reactions, but right away, Marty Mush tweeted, "What the fuck?" Tommy tweeted, like, "Go do something." And I mean, that's the beauty of this situation is, while we get to also start our ascension, it's going to eat the fuck out of Yankee fans. So a little, when people, when like people almost, Mets fans almost kind of get turned off by like, if the Mets are playing the Phillies and there's like a fuck the Yankees chant that starts, and it's kind of like, why are we so like focused on the Yankees? No. I'm focused on the Yankees. Fuck them. I fucking hate the Yankees and their fans, and anything that can upset them, I'm happy with. So everything that is good for us that makes them upset, it's an extra bonus. So let's keep the pedal to the metal, keep the fucking our feet on their throats. And I mean, if you go get Springer right now and you have an old school Yankees-esque offseason, but the Mets did it for a change, I mean, that's got to be soul crushing for the Yankee fans. So let's fucking go.
I'm gonna just tag it with a I'm gonna say CCK is gonna be a must listen today. I feel like I'm gonna get a Gabagool squad in there.
Oh yeah, you know what? Maybe that's what I'll do because I think Rockets gonna be late. Casey's out. I might grab the Yankee fans and just bring them in there and just have a little.
What's the
therapy.
number?
833-857-8665. 833-85 stool. Mets fans call me up. Yankee fans call me up. Go ahead, you fucking Gindaloon Boston. What are you fucking thinking, huh? What's going on with you? Have fun with that Giancarlo Stanton fucking deal. Feels good.
Frank the Tank's in the office too, right? He's bumping around, so I'm sure he'll be coming in for sing a couple songs.
Frank started ranting about Prometheus. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? He said, Prometheus rolling the rock up the hill. I was like, you mean Sisyphus? And he's like, yeah, Sisyphus. And I was like, okay, now that we've established what person you're talking about, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know what's the Sisyphus. What? So yeah, Frank's dancing on graves. Yankee fans are crying. Steve Cohen is laughing. Lindor's counting his money. Vegas is probably boosting up win totals and odds, and all finally right with the world. And we've been waiting. You know what? Seriously, who knows where this goes? There's still such a long way to go from being the Mets to being a real contender. We're not even a playoff team. We're not going to start talking about winning World Series. There's a lot. There's injury concerns. There's bad luck in baseball. There's still the Mets stank. There's a lot that can go wrong. So we can't get ahead of ourselves. But enjoy this moment, because this is something that we've wanted forever. We want to win, but what have we always said the problem was? We're a big market team who acts like a small market, and that's what's the most frustrating part. Well, right here, right now, we did the big market move. There was the small market team who couldn't afford him, who needed to do him, and the guys said, we'll fucking take him because we can pay him. So enjoy this moment right now, because as short of winning games and winning the World Series, this is what we've wanted for the longest time as a Mets fan, and now we've got it. To be in on these free agents, to make moves like this, to be able to offer the bag and make these things happen, that's what we should have always had as a New York fan base, and that's now what we finally got. And it's because of one man. Not even a man. It's because of one God. It's because of one deity. It's because of one fucking grand designer. He is the one. We believe in the Church of Cohentology. In Cohen we trust. And for everybody who doubted him, everyone who jumped off the bandwagon before the first season of his fucking tenure even began, fuck you guys. Fuck you. I mean, did you ever even get a hint of like, I'm getting impatient?
No, I've been fighting with Giants fans in a civil war over Daniel Jones, over just like rooting for the team to win games because they didn't want draft picks in like October. I've been fighting with my fan bases so long, and with like Frank Ntilikina with the Knicks. It was so nice to be on the same page as the Mets. Be like, fuck the Wilpons, we love Steve Cohen. And then when I started seeing Mets, I'm like, I gotta fight another one of my fan bases. The worst.
And you know what? I would venture to guess. I don't know. I actually haven't. I've been off of Mets Twitter a little bit. I was like, there was a period of time I was like, I can't do this yet. I got to at least try to make it to like February. I can't do this yet to myself. I would imagine they're all young people, the young Mets fans, who I always fucking hate young Mets fans, because anybody who's been around as long as we have, it's like I've been living the Wilpon existence for the last like 20 years. I've been living the general Mets horrificness for the last 30. Even if they did nothing this offseason, I would have been like, oh, it's okay. Like, relax, because the future is bright. So I can't believe anybody got impatient this quickly, only to have him drop his dick on the table and just fucking flap you in the head with it. So the move of all moves was just made in a year where nobody's making any moves at all. So if you were already talking shit, I hope that you're like blackballed from the team this year, you assholes. So in Cohen we trust, stay the course, and I mean, I gotta go get like a fucking Lindor. We gotta make t-shirts. Shit, we gotta make t-shirts.
All right.
Hit us with all your Lindor ideas. Anybody who's designs,
all
make
right,
it.
Frankie.
We'll throw you a couple $100. I mean, that was
all
my
right,
my thought was all right, Frankie, and make it a little inside Barstool. Throw his number on there, make it black and make it blue and orange. But anybody who has any Lindor ideas, It was. I remember I said this last time, and there's some like classic rock song that uses the word Frankie or something like that a lot of people threw my way. I can't remember.
Frankie, say relax.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't get that one, but if people will buy it, I'll fucking slap it on a shirt. So let us know, anybody whose designs make it, like I said, a couple $100. The Lindor era has begun, and I'll say this: I think the Cohen era has officially begun. We made, Stroman and McCann made moves, but this was the first. Like, this is the type of owner I am. Let's fucking go. So, thank you, the whole Cohen family, Mama, the Jefe, and El Jefe and La Jefe, my king and queen. To the family, to the daughters, I love you. Let me marry you. I will join the family as well. To the brothers, the sisters, the aunt. I love the Cohen family. Shalom. Shana Tova. Let's go. We'll see you guys. I don't know. Maybe we just start doing episodes because we can just talk about this over and over again. Like, remember the time we got Francisco Lindor? Remember last week? Remember 2 weeks ago? So Mets are back. Gotta believe is back. And it's good to be a Mets fan. Fuck the Yankees. So I guess
FGM.
And anybody who doesn't and anybody who stopped is an asshole because you gotta believe.
Gotta believe.